Part of my early checkered career was spent as a courier, traversing the roads and highways of New Jersey and surrounding states. In the days before fax machines, before personal computers and email, someone had to ferry documents from office to office, music tapes to the airport, files from lawyer to client and back again, parcels that couldn't wait for the mail or UPS. The job was a challenge for me, someone who had always stuck close to home. My parents were much older than I was, senior citizens at the time I, in my early 20s, took the position with the messenger service. They had lost their adventurous tendencies long before having and raising me, and were content with television, hobbies, and visits to nearby relatives. Once I got my driver's license at 17, I bought a few maps and tooled around in my spare time, enlarging my world, but ultimately not by much. I answered the courier ad and accepted the job without telling anyone. I knew what I'd hear, that I wasn't brave enough, street smart enough, strong enough, that I'd never be able to find half the places I needed to go. I knew none of this was true and that I'd just get ticked off hearing it, even if it was said without real malice. I bought new tires for my hatchback, a bunch more maps, picked up my pager from the messenger service's tiny home base, and set off. Drivers worked on commission, and the most profitable routes were the ones that covered New York City, but even I knew I wasn't ready for that. Without a mortgage or family to support, I gladly took the less lucrative outlying tickets and gradually became familiar with nearly every main highway in New Jersey and most of the secondary roads in the Northeast where I lived and the central part of the state. My beat also included the Orange, Rockland County area of New York, Long Island, and even a few stops in the outer boroughs. On occasion, I'd take a trip to Philadelphia, Western Connecticut, or Delaware. I knew how to change a tire, but learned to do it quickly, on the side of a busy road with traffic rushing past just feet away. I became adept at hauling myself onto loading docks that had no stairs, jumping other people's dead car batteries, and finding the diners and fast food joints with the best food and cleanest restrooms. I lifted things heavier than I'd thought I could manage, never lost or broke an item, and made friendly conversation with the sometimes gruff denizens of shipping and receiving land, people I wasn't sure I'd like, and who probably never thought they'd like me. With my trusty maps, I found every single location I was sent to, no matter how vague the directions given, how surprisingly well tucked away some businesses were. The fact that there are about 7 Pavonia Avenues in Jersey City, none of which are accessible from any of the other Pavonia Avenues, stumped me at first, but eventually I made sense of even that unfortunate bit of street naming silliness. I only did the job for 2 years, but it widened my horizons considerably, even if it failed to swell my bank account. So all in all, it was a positive experience, although not completely. It was the early 1980s, and there weren't many women working as couriers. Most customers took it in stride, and some were genuinely pleased to see the progress I represented. Of course, there were a few grouches who hated me on sight, ignored me, snapped at me, refused to take one end of a particularly heavy package, while cheerfully helping the delivery guy parked next to me at the dock with a small box he could easily have carried himself. I hated them back, but I was young, small, and basically at the world's mercy, so I just blew them off. One day, a badly shaven, pot-bellied, middle-aged man sauntered over to me, snatched a parcel out of my hands, applied his signature to the paperwork as if carving someone up, me, with a dagger, and thrust the clipboard at me so hard that I had to take a step backward. Then he leaned in, poked a finger way too close to my face, and snarled, "You girls have a hell of a lot of nerve." I must have been having a good day because this time I just smiled. Why, yes, I thought to myself. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do.